What we're trying to point out is starting out with a installation that was not really put in very properly. Probably doesn't unload the system very well. This is the furnace that was installed. If you'll notice, the width of the evaporator coil is the same width as the furnace itself, but then they tapered down to a 14-inch plenum that really restricts the amount of airflow that you can get through in that system and back up into your duct system on out. What we're going to have to do with our new install, we are going to have to put a new plenum back up in here to allow this to get better airflow and get it back through the duct system so we can get some velocity coming through our duct system. Let's just move on over here and I'll show you. There was on the other side of this wall, they had actually added an addition onto this house. The one room didn't cool very well, neither did it heat very well. In fact, the whole area on this south side of the house does not cool very well. This is flex that actually is not even connected to the duct system itself. It was left there. That is one reason this additional room that they put on this west side of the house had no airflow at all. You can't push air through something that you don't have any connection to. We're going to move on down here. This whole south side of the house, when it was originally done, they did put some pipe here, but I think mostly everything that's in the crawl space itself back here is all done with flex. With flex, if you don't oversize your, if you have a 6-inch piece of pipe, you should actually have 7-inch flex on it to be able to get the same amount of CFM or cubic feet per minute through it at the same time. There's only 2 heat runs out in here. They're both too small in this big living area. This is a very beautiful living area upstairs, and we'll take you upstairs in a little bit here and show you what that even looks like. But it's almost unlivable during the wintertime, and it's almost unlivable during the summertime because it does get so hot during that summertime area. What you'll notice is we do have 2 heat runs. Then we have another heat run that's coming off down through here, and it comes back over here. Now this one heat run actually takes care of 2 registers, and they're splitting it off back underneath this crawl space somewhere because there's just no other heat runs. And what we're going to end up doing is we need to get another heat run back across over here so we can attach each one of those registers in this other added area. We won't be able to change the heat run underneath the floor, but what we're going to try to do is get each one of them on a separate heat run by themselves so we can get the maximum amount of airflow through that system as we can. We're going to end up changing a lot of things on the cold air return that comes over here. We'll change the drop to try to make it a little larger for a 3-ton unit and try to make it operate much better as far as the comfort level inside the house. We'll take a trip upstairs and we'll go up into the room itself, and then we'll go from there. This is the little room that we showed you downstairs with this heat run downstairs that was not even hooked up. It sits back underneath there. Now if you look at this whole south side of this wall is almost completely glass. Maybe I can move this door here a little bit and you can see from the shade all the way over, this is all glass. Without getting any air coming up in here from the heat run that wasn't attached downstairs in the basement, it just will not get comfortable inside here. And nobody can stay here. This is kind of a spare room that they had to try to utilize. If we move back out here into the family room, you're going to see that this piece of glass, I mean, I know they're a little bit shaded, but it's a lot of glass space inside of an area. And I tell you what, our biggest loss is the glass itself. It's not the walls in it itself that is so bad, but if you look down in behind the couches, they've got little tiny registers that lay down in the floor. Those registers are only fed by 2 6-inch pieces of pipe back in through here. We need to increase them to 4-inch by 12-inch by 7-inch pieces of pipe. That will actually give us more airflow coming back up inside this room and try to make this beautiful room into a livable space. This addition here had 2 registers that was put in back over here on this east wall. These registers, there's hardly any airflow coming out of them because they split it up with 1 register coming through and tried to taper off into these 2. Just does not get very much airflow out of them. If you look at the glass footage, again, that's on the east wall, then we have a big sliding glass door here. If we don't get some airflow in here and get a bigger this little dinette area that she's having as a formal dining area, it just will not operate and work very professionally. One of the key things that we try to do as Bryant, we're trying to look for all these pieces of problems that actually, when we're putting our puzzle together, really is what it is. Everything is going to work properly for her when we're finished, and we'll have a very comfortable house to live in.